Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in today's session. And obviously, everyone that has come and taken your time out, thank you for doing that because in today's session, we are going to go and look at a lot of different factors. Now, the form that you filled in, there was an option over there which had a lot of questions in that option. Now, in those questions, you had to write 3 different questions that you wanted me to answer. And I've accumulated all of them together and I've looked through all your questions. Now, what we're going to do right now is that this is a 1-hour session. So in the first 30 minutes, we're going to look at the questions. We're going to talk about what you guys asked about, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Now, some of those questions obviously are repetitive questions, so I've sort of, put them together. So you might have a different question which I will answer throughout the first 30 minutes. Then after the 30 minutes is done, I'm sure you would be writing stuff down and you're going to have a lot of questions yourself about this session. You can also ask that in the last 30 seconds. So I'm going to open the forum up for you guys to ask questions in the last 30 minutes and I'll answer them as well. The purpose of this webinar, guys, is to give you a chance to actually connect with someone that understands YouTube automation. And the reason why I'm doing this is to give people the opportunity to speak to someone and ask their concerns, because there are so many questions people tend to have. And whenever I go and talk about YouTube automation, people say, what is this about? How can I start? What are the issues that I'm going to face? And the ones that are doing it, their channels are not growing. And there's so many reasons for that. And I try to answer them and help them through that journey. And if people want to get that particular answer to that question, there's so many videos and it seems like you get lost on YouTube and you have to watch like 8, 15, 20 minutes to get just your answer. So this session is built around just answering your question. So there's not a lot of gimmicks. There's not a lot of speeches before we start. So we're going to get we're just going to get right into it, guys. So the first question which I have is that how to start automatic YouTube channel. Now, YouTube channel, obviously, there's so many different ways that you can start it. And the traditional methodologies that a lot of people use is they open their own channel. They don't know much about YouTube automation. They say, we're going to take our phone, we're going to make a video of what's going on outside. We're going to make a video of a time lapse while we drive around the city, or we're going to make a video of the dogs playing or the cats playing or animals and stuff like that and just upload it. Now, this was perfectly fine if you go back to 2008, 2009, when YouTube was relatively new. But I think over a period of time, this has really sort of evolved into being much more complicated. So if you're doing that and thinking that we're just going to make videos and we're going to upload them and they're going to take off, that's not going to happen. And you might be uploading daily and you might be doing a lot of videos, but you're not going to get that response. If you want to do YouTube automation, if you want to get into YouTube, think of it as a business. And this is what I've said in the videos that you guys have been watching. So thank you for that. And in those videos, I always mention that if you want to get into YouTube automation, you got to understand the different aspects of what is required. And right now, things have gotten a lot complicated, especially with the AI that has come out. And you need to understand that AI has really changed things around and made it difficult, but also provide a little bit of help. So there's a lot more competition that you have to keep in mind. So if you want to start YouTube automation, do it properly. Think about the niche that you want to get into. Think about what you want to focus on, and make sure that you're passionate about it. Because a lot of people, you're not going to get responses. You're not going to get the views and subscribers, and then over a period of time, you're going to die out. So that sort of covers that sort of question. But if you still have more questions regarding it, like what niche, you can always ask me. And if you have a niche in mind and you're unsure about it, you can ask that at the end of this session, or you can drop me a message on WhatsApp as well, or just mention in the comments on the right side, and I'll get back to you on that as well. The second one is that what is one of the rarest tools that one can talk in free course? Now, I don't know exactly what you mean by that question, but obviously, like I mentioned, AI is a pretty huge thing. So I think you're talking about the AI tools. There's so many tools, especially if you're talking about voiceovers. There's a tool, website actually, which is an AI tool that people use, is called 11 Labs. It's really good. It's really changed the way voiceovers is done. I actually have my own account on 11 Labs. I'm a verified voiceover individual as well. So a lot of videos that you see on Health Vibe Zone, on Ton Travel, on 10 Health, and all the different different channels that we have, and a lot of channels that we work on our clients as well. The voiceover is mine, and I use the 11 Lab clone voice that I have done for myself, so I use that. So if you're thinking about using a voiceover, you don't want to use your own voice, that is definitely one of the best platforms right now that you can use. There's so many other ones as well, but that's the one I personally do recommend for you guys. Now, the other thing is, what other social media platforms that can be used to supplement YouTube channels? Now, that's a really good question, guys, and I feel this is one of the most important things that you need to understand as you start YouTube automation. A lot of time people look at YouTube automation in a very isolated form, and you think that YouTube is the only place that we're going to put our content in, and that should not be the case. In today's time and period, guys, what you need to do is you need to focus on multiple platforms, because everything is interconnected, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn for that matter, and there's so many other platforms, but these are the big ones. Now, I always mention that if you start off your YouTube channel initially and don't share anything on social media, right? Create a base for what you're doing, understand what you need to do, because obviously the first 15, 20, 30 videos that you're going to make, you're going to figure out what kind of content you're making, you know, what kind of changes you want to do in your scripts and your editing styles and your thumbnails and things like that. Once you understand what kind of channel you're going to create, if you understand what kind of thumbnails and scripts and titles and all the elements that are involved with YouTube automation, what you're going to do, and you have established that, only then head over to the other social media channels. And you can not promote them, but add it there as well. So for example, make a Facebook channel, make a Facebook page, and make it the same name as your YouTube channel. Make a TikTok, make an Instagram, make all these handles and upload all your information and your content and stuff and videos and stuff onto these places. But do the right tagging, because the algorithm for Facebook is different from the algorithm for YouTube. It's different from Instagram, it's different for TikTok. So you really need to understand each one of these platforms, how they work, what they do in order to actually, you know, utilize each one of these platforms. But they, in unison, they tend to work. But only when you have an established following, you understand the content, you are in the niche, and you have figured everything out. So definitely social media is a very strong platform, and it's a very good question, and try to make it down the line. I would recommend for you to make it around the time when you get monetized, or at least a month or two before you get monetized. When you have about 500 subscribers, then go for the social media, but not before it, because I feel that social media, if you go too early, it really hinders your success, because you're putting stuff out and you sort of think that's not working, or not getting the views, or this is not going to happen, and you get demotivated. So you don't want that to happen, because there is a high chance you're going to stop putting out content. So try to focus on one element, make it big, understand what you're doing, and then go in the other direction. Now the third, the third or fourth question now that we have is how a PowerPoint presentation can be made attractive to viewers. Now, this is a very interesting niche, guys, and I have recently seen a lot of channels that are now using PowerPoint presentations, because PowerPoint presentations have evolved as well. But this is a particular niche that works with certain other niches, such as education, such as informative videos. This is not something that's going to work with cars or health or things like that that effectively. So if you're targeting the education side, you can use a PowerPoint presentation to develop videos for it. The best thing I personally feel is to keep it simple, because there's so much gimmicks now that are in the world and on YouTube that people tend to go for. It really loses that emotional connection that we once used to have with PowerPoint presentations. I idealistically would say that either have a screen recording of what you're doing, or create a video of the presentation itself, have a voiceover behind it. But the most important thing with that is going to be the content that you actually speak about, and the value that you add, and the information that you provide. If you make a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, but it doesn't add value, it's not going to have that effect. And you're going to miss out on the audience, on what you want to target. So make sure that you understand that information that you're providing needs to add value, even if it's in a video form in presentation. Because one of the things that I feel people forget and I think as people are joining this session, this is going to be very important for me to share, is that their most important focus doesn't need to be the monetization level. It needs to be what value they want to add in people's lives. And if you keep that sort of aim and objective where you say that, I'm making this content to add value to people and give information to people and make people's lives better, it really resonates with individuals. If your content is just about making money, is just about, want to get those subscribers and those watch hours, it's not going to resonate. And I feel that that is one of the most important internal check that we need to have as content creators over a regular period of time, where we need to sit back and think about exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And I think that that reality check is quite important. Now, moving on to our next question, we have how to grow a new channel in 2024. This is a seminar in itself, guys. How to grow a new channel in 2024. Like I said, guys, things have changed. With the AI introduction in 2024, there's new policies that have come with YouTube as well, in accordance with AI. Now, if you would notice, I think in January, the start of January 2024, a lot of channels got demonetized. And the reason why they got demonetized was the fact that the YouTube algorithm and YouTube generally had looked at so many channels and saw that with the ChatGPT and AI introduction, there was a lot of content that was actually coming into the YouTube space. And that content wasn't that great. It was very generic. It was mass produced. It did not have that effect. It was not adding value. It was not that great. It was very similar to one another. And that is not what the advertisers are paying for. And there was such an influx of videos, and people were coming and creating videos, and they were not really, there was no human related factor inside of it, because everything was AI based. So they completely shut down a lot of channels, and they demonetized a lot of channels. I'm sure the guys, everyone that's joined, I'm sure majority of you, or some of you at least, would have faced that. And then you had to appeal against it. That's exactly what is going on even now. The algorithm is continuously updating itself. And a lot of time when you create AI related elements with your voiceovers and your videos and your editing and factors like that, there is a safety net within the algorithm that's built. And it sort of, shadow bans or kills or destroys or, cuts your videos off on your channel. So you would see a huge increase on your views, and all of a sudden there's going to be a dip. It's going to kill your channel. It's because they will figure out that you're not creating content, because the monetization of the channel is based on the human creativity of the content. And even now, if you create anything that's AI related, there's a little message when you upload it. You have to tick that and say, I've used AI elements inside this video. And if you don't do that, most likely your channel is going to get killed, or your videos are going to get killed. So that is something very important for you to look at. So growing a new channel in 2024 is very difficult. But like I say in every video, guys, if you watch them, persistency, consistency, and make sure that your content is good. If you're doing these three things, you're not going to have a problem. But make sure you select the niche that's really good. And I think there's a question about that coming up right now. Yes, which is making a faceless channel worth it or not. It is worth it. Meaning you have, I think, about 3.4 million videos that are uploaded on a daily basis on YouTube. And there was a research that was actually done where they said that there's about 500 hours, just fathom that for a second, guys, 500 hours that actually get uploaded every single minute. Now think about that. That is a lot of content that's being created, a lot of watch time that's being uploaded on YouTube every single minute, 500 hours. If it's not worth it, people wouldn't be doing that. It's definitely worth it. But at the same time, only about 11 or 12% of the channels on YouTube are making really good money. The rest of them are struggling. And they're struggling because they do all the things wrong. They don't understand what YouTube automation is about. They don't understand what content creation is about. They don't understand what kind of content they want to create. And that really messes everything up. So if you understand those aspects, if you look at those aspects and figure things out properly, and then go into YouTube automation, you're going to be fine. Is investment of time on YouTube really worth it? I think talk to Mr. Beast and talk to all these big YouTubers that are available. And if you're watching these videos that I've created on Health Wipe Zone, I think I've done about, if I remember right, this morning I checked, it was about $500. And we got monetized in 33 days. So I think about in 8, 9, around 10 days, we've done about $500. So we're doing about I think 10, $12, $13 per day, sometime more, sometime less, around about that much. So about in a couple of days, I think 10 days, sorry, $50 per day. I think 10 days, yeah, $50 per day. So it's $500, like a hell of a lot of money. I mean, that's just like from a couple of videos, and we're changing the videos, we're changing everything on the Health Vibe Zone as well. Like I mentioned before, with the videos that we've done, we use the one video to get monetized, so we have everything else in our arsenal now. So we've got that. So we're changing the sequence, we're changing the thumbnails, we're changing the descriptions, we're changing the titles. The content's going to be the same, but everything's going to get changed, and we're gradually putting it out. I mean, recently there was a question that came on the Discord by someone, and they were asking about the change in the thumbnail. Now that was quite interesting, because I like the fact that people are following the channel, so that's quite helpful, because you can mimic the channel itself and do everything I did on a health one. There was an individual that had a question for health, so if you're watching, there's so many people, so I can't really pinpoint right now who's where. But if you joined us, that's fine, but I'll try to upload these 30 minutes onto the channel as well, so you can watch it over there. The health is one of the best niches that I feel anyone can go to initially, because it's got the retention, it's evergreen, things are not going to die out. Uric acid is going to be uric acid, cancer is going to be cancer, health food is going to be health food, meaning those things are never going to change. I mean, if you're going to have, honey is going to be good at any time and period in time. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, honey's going to be good. So as long as that video is there and it's made, anyone's going to watch it, you're going to get paid for it. So that's one of the reasons I always like health niche, because it's evergreen, it has retention, it has engagement. Now I changed the thumbnails because I personally felt, when I did my research, that there's so many people that have created very similar thumbnails, and I felt now in the sea of thumbnails, you kind of get lost. And you want to make sure that you kind of stand out with what kind of thumbnails you make. And I felt that this was the right way to go. But again, that's the thing about YouTube, guys, and that's the thing about doing this stuff, that when you have so many channels and you're looking at and predicting what the future is going to hold, you got to make changes early on. So this was just one of those moves that I thought of, that let's change the way people look at thumbnails, and let's try something funky, let's try something new, and let's see the effect that's going to have, the response that we're going to get. If the response is good, brilliant. If it's not good, we can always go to the other side and do it over again. It's not a big problem. Coming on to our next question, I hope that answered that question, by the way, but if I didn't and you felt there's something more you need from that, do let me know in the comments on the chat, and I'll try to get back to you on that, or just drop me a WhatsApp message or join Discord. If you haven't joined Discord, guys, do join the Discord, because I'm really updating a lot of information on Discord. Now, second, I'm planning to create a YouTube channel based on the health niche. Yes, this is that question I was talking about, but I don't know how to search topics for that. This is one of the biggest problems that exist with people that start YouTube automation. And I'll be quite honest with you, this was one of the biggest problems that I personally had. Now, I started YouTube automation, I think, about 5 years ago. And I remember the first video that I made, man, it was bad. It was really, really bad. I mean, I have unlisted it from the channel now because it was so bad. When I looked at it, I felt ashamed by it. This is the stuff that we used to create. And we've come a long way from it. And I think one of the most important thing, I think you nailed it with this question, because obviously you're thinking about it from what strategies that I've been talking about on the videos, is the fact that you need to understand the topics that you want to select and make videos for. And the best way to do that is understand the psychology of society. Now, if you're making content in a particular country, in a particular language, then you need to understand what's going on in that particular region. If you want to make content for the world, then obviously you need to look at it from a worldist perspective. And you need to think in that way and say, what are people going to enjoy watching? What is going to be the content that I'm going to make that is going to add value to their lives, and it's going to be fun making. So there is different ways you need to think. And after you have that thought process, the best places to go either is going to be Google Trends, which I personally feel is really good, because it gives you a hand on a pulse of what's going on in society, what's going on in the region, what are people searching for, and it puts you in the right direction. Now, after you do that, the second place that you need to go is vidIQ. vidIQ is a brilliant tool, guys. I feel that in today's time and period, in 2024, 2023, coming forward as well, the way things have developed have made our lives a lot easier as content creators. And there are all these tools that are available that we can use. And if you're not using them, I think this is one of the biggest problems or setbacks that you're going to have, is because if someone is using all these resources that are available for them, and they're using them and they're making their content and they're uploading the content, they know the topics, they know the niches, they know the tags, they have all these elements, and you're not using this tool, then they have a competitive advantage. So definitely use vidIQ, and they have subscriptions. I think there was a video that I made on vidIQ as well. I think it was day 20, 33 or 32 or 31. One of these days I did. I talked about vidIQ, what we do, how we use it, what are the tags and stuff. And there's even a link over there where you get like, I think 50% off. So if you want to go and get it directly, you can get it directly. If you want to use the link, you can use that link. But definitely use it, guys. I mean, it's worth the time, it's worth the investment, and you can always cancel it. So use it a couple of months, see how it goes. If it adds value, if it helps you, supports you, and gives you what you want, then you can definitely keep using it. If you feel like, nah, this isn't really for me, this is too costly for me, I'll screw this, I don't want to do this, then definitely just, cancel the subscription. What's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing. So definitely, that's how I do it, and that's how I search for topics. I use Google Trends, I use vidIQ, and the third thing I use is YouTube itself. Understand your competition. I mean that's the best way to go, isn't it? Look at what other people are doing and see why they're doing it. I mean, if you're in the health niche, like I think I have a couple of channels in the health niche now, and I go and see what's happening in the health region, in the health niche on YouTube. So I go and check all the big channels out that have done really, really well, and what they're uploading and when are they uploading it and what's going on. And I study that, I analyze that, I look at all this information and then say, you know what, this is something that is going to be helpful. It's trending, it's good. I think we can make something similar to that. Then I speak to my team and we start creating that. So that's how I do it, and if that is something that works for you, that works for you. If you have another methodology, you can always share that with me, and maybe that works. So best for you, or I can even have a look at that. So I know very well video editing, but the problem is how to write a script and how to avoid copyright infringement. Oh man, this one question itself is huge. And I feel that the script, I think this is a video I made about, 2-3 videos before, if you go on the channel, where script writing it's huge. And people generally think script writing is just about the content. It's not. And I had to talk to a couple of people about YouTube automation. And they even thought that, script writing is just about the content of the script you're going to write. It's not, guys. The script writing really starts much before that. It starts from the title. It starts from the thumbnail. It starts about anything that you want to bring on, which is going to be written on your channel, which is going to be, combining everything together. So script writing is a really huge thing. And one of the biggest mistakes, and this is something I feel that it's very important for me to say, that everyone that watches the videos, everyone that has joined us today, is the fact that do not in any circumstances rely completely on ChatGPT for creating the scripts. Don't do that. Never do that. That's the worst thing they can do to yourself, to your channel, is going to completely die out. People now understand the language of ChatGPT. And between you and me, quite honestly, ChatGPT lies. I mean, there's so many times that I have actually used ChatGPT to get information, and it is a complete, it doesn't have the right information. It just makes shit up. I mean, that's the honest truth. And if anyone has used it as much as we have, you would understand what I mean when I say that it lies. So stay away from ChatGPT to be your source of information. What you need to do is gather the information together, write it in some sort of script form that you want, then give all that data to ChatGPT or any script writing or AI tool and tell them, structure this. Don't write it, structure this in a script form for a YouTube video. So they will use the information that you've provided and they will only structure it. There's a huge difference between write a script on YouTube or structure a script on YouTube. Now for people that want to make shorts and people that want to make short videos, people that are not relying completely as a source of income on YouTube, go for ChatGPT. It's perfectly fine. But people that are serious, and if you really want to give value and bring something different and have that competitive advantage, I would suggest to do your research before you go and get information from ChatGPT. Now, obviously, once you've done all of that and you got your script, then the other elements come in, such as AI tools that you can use to create videos and things like that. Now, there's so many other methodologies that are also available that you can use when you make content. But I want to mention something right now, which is a pressing question, which was a common question that I was getting, is that what is the way to go about creating content? Now, there's two ways, guys. You can do it yourself, or you can pay someone else to do it. Now, I would recommend that you do it yourself first. Understand the dynamics, understand the process, understand the different methodologies that are available. And when you have a good grip over all these elements, that you can outsource the ones that you have difficulty with. So if you create the script yourself, ask someone to do the voiceover. Use the voiceover on 11 Labs if you want to. Get someone to edit it. Get someone to create the thumbnails. Get someone to do the SEOs. You know, there's so many elements that are involved. You can always outsource some of the elements. But if you are completely overwhelmed, you can always go on platforms like Fiverr, on platforms like Upwork, and get a team of individuals that are making content and developing content. And I think these places are really good, since that they have the reviews, they have people, you can check other people that have used them, you can check their portfolios and things like that, and you get an idea of the kind of work that they're doing, to sense that are they right or not. But obviously, if you outsource it, it's gonna cost you. So my recommendation, guys, is start working on the videos yourself. Invest your time. It's a skill that you're gonna learn. You can always work on for other people and make a side hustle of that as well. So it's not something that, you know, that's not gonna be helpful for you. It's definitely gonna be helpful for you. If it doesn't help your channel, it's gonna help someone else's channel, but you're gonna make money either way. So definitely learn the skill, because it is gonna be, you know, good for you. So I think the 30 minutes are coming up, guys. So I think I've answered most of the questions which was accumulatively given to me right now from everyone that has come and joined us today. If you have other questions, which I can see there are some questions that are coming, we will take that in the next 30 minutes. So I'm going to take a 5 minutes break, because I need to drink water, man, honestly, because I've been talking for 30 minutes straight. I'm thirsty. So I'm going to take a 5 minutes break, and I will upload this 30 minutes that we've done right now onto the channel. So anyone that wants to go back and check the answers to their questions, they can do that. If they want to ask questions in the comments, you can do that as well. If I missed your question, I'm sorry for that right now. We will be doing more webinars, and you're welcome to join as well again, and ask your friends as well if they want to join. So definitely do that. So I'm going to take a 5 minutes break, and I'll see you in the question and answer session. So see you in 5 minutes.